so much. My name is Reverend Tara Little, and I'm the minister here of Throop Unitarian Universalist Church, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena. A little over a year ago, this congregation took a big leap of faith and made a decision that really changed the course of this church. They decided to start a partnership with Northeast LA Transition and to take out 5,000 square feet of thirsty grass and build a Garden of Eden right here on this busy street corner. Amen. They made it so. And we are so pleased you are here with us today to celebrate and give blessings and continue to dream the vision. January Nordman is a member of our congregation, also one of the avid gardeners of this project, and a member of Northeast LA Transitions. January?
Hi everybody, thanks for coming. We started this about a year ago. I'm with Northeast LA Transition. I came to the garden project. Obviously, I do a lot of public speaking. Okay, so I came to the garden project.
There you go.
Okay, it's a volunteer operation.
You're doing great.
So anyway, I came to the garden project via Northeast LA Transition. Throop Church allowed us to use their facilities for our events, and we, as a group, wanted to give back. We had the collective organization and motivation to tackle a project that could manifest the concepts of the transition movement. Transition is an internationally inspired grassroots initiative working to move beyond the challenges of peak oil, environmental destruction, economic instability, and human despair by building stable, self-reliant local communities. It encourages people to connect with each other and their environment in ways that reflect sound ecological, socioeconomic, and spiritual permaculture principles. What could be more true to a transition than creating a garden? This garden is consciously based on permaculture practices. We are completely organic and eschew the use of chemicals, pesticides, or toxins.
All right.
A challenging proposition when dealing with Bermuda grass. This also means that we worked with the land, water, wind, sun, and each other to come up with a design based on observation. We followed land contours to map the flow of water for the placement of water catchment features. The patio and the gravel paths you see are designed to allow the natural flow of water to sink into the earth. The various zones of the gardens contain plant guilds, communities of companion plants that thrive in similar conditions and with each other. The guilds were specifically placed according to their water, soil, nutrient, and sunlight needs. Once established, they will require far less water than a common lawn, as they provide excellent habitat for birds and insects, a high yield of food for people, and a place of beauty and tranquility for the harried urban spirit. We chose to use recycled materials whenever possible. All the terrace walls, patios, walkways, and raised bed gardens utilize recycled walls, driveways, and patios donated from friends and neighbors. A wind-felled arboretum tree became a beautiful garden bench, and a Caltech olive found a new life as anchor for our garden. The garden consumed a lot of labor. Over 140 people helped, including students, transitioners, permaculturists, Arroyo Time Bank folks, gardeners, church members, friends, and family. Many had never touched a shovel or planted seeds in the earth. Much teaching transpired as folks learned essential garden awareness and work practices. Each one left the garden with a new skill, a sense of accomplishment, an insight, and a new friend. Beyond all the construction milestones, we built something far more precious, a vibrant community. The garden represents NELA Transition's most visible project, but we are working on other projects as well. We host informational and awareness-raising potlucks, lectures, repair cafes, screenings, and other events. We work with the Arroyo Time Bank to present reskilling workshops on a wide array of topics. We promote a sustainable economy with the Time Bank. We have partnered with Pasadena Public Works Zero Waste campaign. We're working to create a network with a wide range of sustainability groups working independently in our area. We do spiritual work concerning connectedness. So come join us. We have a sign-up sheet in the back patio, and you're welcome to come to any of our events. Transition and permaculture share an ethos that can be summed up in 3 simple concepts that can take a lifetime to realize. First is earth care. We are all reliant on the earth for our existence. Our health is a direct reflection of the health of our habitat. We seek to actively engage in the healing process of the earth. Second is people care. By meeting each other with compassion and respect, we can all flourish. The community we build allows us to face challenges from a place of collective strength. We seek to end despair and polarization. And finally, fair share. All beings need habitat in a community to thrive. We seek to live in such a way that we are cognizant that every decision we make, every action we take has ramifications for ourselves, our environment, and our future generations. Thanks to everybody who helped, and let's all enjoy the garden.
January, and now we have Pasadena Mayor Bill Bogard. Come on up.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations to all of you who have worked hard to put this wonderful garden together. It's a wonderful presence in itself, and it's a wonderful inspiration, a source of inspiration to all who hear about it and know about it. And I think you should all be proud. A garden is an easy subject, a natural subject for symbolism and for inspiration. And we've heard about the elements of the garden and how it was put together and what it represents in terms of natural procedures and processes that will help it prosper. But we shouldn't forget how the garden has brought together a wonderful community, a community larger than it has been for a long time, to work together, to commit itself to the production of produce for healthy living, for the symbol of a new beginning, a new fellowship, a new leadership in this great city. As I was looking over the history of the project, I was intrigued that the organization Northeast LA Transition is an integral part of it. I congratulate January Nordman and all of her associates who are part of this effort. I am hoping that the organization might consider changing from Northeast LA Transition to Central Pasadena Transition in light of the importance of the historic importance of this event. When Pastor Little invited me to come to this, it didn't take me a second to say, yes, I want to be a part of something as rich and as reassuring and as fun as this event is. Thank you for including me, and congratulations to you all. It's a pleasure to be here.
And now we welcome our city council person, Terry Tornick, who has a passion for water conservation.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's nice of you to have us here. The challenge at an event like this, because it's so multidimensional, is to sort of figure out which of the wonderful themes that you all have struck deserves to be highlighted. And as I looked through the information and talked with Reverend Tara and others in January, I was struck by, I had to actually write a list. We have the obvious water conservation theme, which is something that's near and dear to my heart. There's the whole issue of volunteerism and what it's meant to this project and what it can mean to a community. There's the issue, of course, of helping those in need, which is something that all of us need to be reminded about every day. There's the more subtle issue of cooperation between groups and individuals, which was Caltech's Olive Tree and a variety of other players that have participated in this effort. There's the very critical issue of the preservation of an institution and what it means in terms of the future for this wonderful church and what it's meant in the history of the city of Pasadena, and the way that a project like this can contribute to strengthening that process. So as I look at all of these themes, the one I've chosen to focus on most directly, having given credit at least to the others, is water conservation. And I think that's because January and I just came back from a tour in Northern California, sponsored by the Metropolitan Water District, that helped us to understand what it takes to bring water here. I mean, it's if anybody has ever paid any attention to what's involved, apart from the people from Water and Power, to what it takes to get a drop of water to pour on a lawn, Bermuda grass or otherwise, you would never do it again. We were up at the Oroville Dam. We were at the head of the California Water Project, which is the ditch that brings the water down, 30% of our water down, 450 miles, and has to be pushed over mountain ranges and tunneled through mountains. And let me tell you folks, once you understand what the consequences are of water wasting and what the real societal impacts and environmental impacts are of that, again, you would rush out, and if you've got Bermuda grass, you dig it up immediately. So to have an institution with the kind of presence that Throop does at this location, at this high visibility location, really getting people to think about and understand what the implications and environmental consequences of that kind of waste represent, I think you've done a tremendous service. All of you that have been involved in this project have done an unbelievable service to the community in helping us all to understand that you can be a better steward of the planet and of our resources without having an ugly solution. So I congratulate you for that. And as we sort of look at these, at what you've achieved, both in terms of environmental stewardship and contributions to the human environment, I congratulate you, and I'm privileged to have Throop as part of District 7 in Pasadena. Thank you so much.
Too bad we don't have free shovels to give away, so folks can go home and dig up that Bermuda grass if they have any. Now we're so pleased to invite Dr. Eric Walsh to come up. He is the director of the Pasadena Department of Health.
Good morning, everyone, and we are really pleased as a health department to have the type of city where projects like this happen. Most of you know we are one of only 3 cities in the state of California that has its own health department, and so we are really engaged at this level in trying to really encourage residents and organizations to do great things. Before coming to Pasadena, my idea of how we get fresh fruits and vegetables to people had more to do with farmers markets than anything else. But being here, I've learned that these projects on the ground in the community are actually the best way to do it, because you do more than just give people healthy food. You give them healthy community, healthy relationships, and a healthier environment. And all of those things are things that we really want to see happen at the health department. Something that the councilman just said that I think is really important is that this is a high visibility area. And we are looking at organizations who want to do this all over the city and all over the area. And I'm really happy to see this here, because now I can say, look, you just need to drive on Del Mar and you can see what's possible. And some of the areas are lower income areas, and I think some of the expertise that you all have developed here and have here, we're going to actually maybe tap into as we begin to try and bring together an entire kind of consortium around urban agriculture. It's become one of my passions. And so we'll probably be asking you to actually help us in leading the effort and in helping some of our neighbors who don't know anything about this, but they've come to the realization that this is the right thing to do. for all the reasons that you just heard from the mayor and from our councilman. So, you know, as a health department, we're grateful this is here. We will be promoting anything you need us to do. I just heard you'll be having vegan cooking classes, so just let us know and we'll try and let individuals know that that's available here. And of course, we will definitely be tag teaming with you as we try and actually replicate this across the city. Thank you for all your hard work.
From Pasadena Water and Power, and she's the director of the Water Conservation Project.
Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting us here today. Pasadena Water and Power is so proud to be part of a project such as this. We were happy to fund through our turf removal program $5,000 towards this project to assist along with all the hard work and volunteer work that went into this. But this is, as everyone has pointed out, this is a role model for our city, and the visibility is very important. And we are just so thrilled to see our residents, our businesses, our institutions, our churches, our public schools are doing this too. John Muir and two of the other elementary schools have started their own vegetable gardens, and they actually made a small business out of it. So some remarkable things are happening. And as Councilmember Tornek very smartly pointed out, Bermuda grass, any grass, wasn't intended for this climate. It's a Mediterranean climate, and grass takes at least 50% more water than just about anything that you can put in the ground. So we appreciate your conservation and your interest in it, and the permeability here. You're avoiding runoff, you're keeping the water. When it does actually rain, it stays here. So we're looking forward to a rainy season. And again, we just really applaud the work and the dedication that's going on here. Thank you.
Clearly, a project of this magnitude takes so many people along the way. And one of the important leaders right at the beginning was Reverend Carol Rudisil. She was the pastor of the congregation when they took that leap of faith. We're so happy to have her with us today to share a few words and blessings with us.
Good morning, all. Good morning. Wow. What a great crowd. I'm so glad to see so many people here. Oh, no. When I began as the minister here 2 years ago last June, or July, I guess, I knew that there had been a time within the previous few years when the people had been working on an idea of a sustainable garden out front. There had been the idea, let's get rid of the grass and let's put in vegetables and a good native plant garden. And it kind of started and then it died. It was a matter of volunteer effort.
Clay soil.
And clay soil, says Jean, one of the people who worked on it. And after that effort virtually died and the weeds grew back, I believe we actually got a citation for the weeds. The city was not so happy with us. So that I was so happy when the Board of Trustees about 1.5 years ago started talking about trying that again. And Mila, the Northeast LA Transition Project, was interested in working with us. I was so glad, and I was so proud of the board for taking that step, making that commitment. So I was so glad also to watch. I was happy to watch the process happen. I had my office on the lower floor in there, so I was able to look through the window back there and see people working and see things changing out here in the garden. Now, I wasn't able, obviously, to do much of the work, but I watched other people work and sent my blessings their direction. Even so, you know, we talked about the Bermuda grass, and people probably wonder, okay, what did you do? Well, it took layers of, what was it, newspaper and cardboard, and newspaper and cardboard, layers and layers of cardboard, I believe. And that's all underneath what you see here, because that got rid of the grass. It took people digging and pulling out as much as they could, and then layering it with cardboard to get rid of the weeds, the seeds, the little pieces that were starting to come back up. And people really worked hard to get that to happen. So last spring, when that work had been done, they were still working and starting to plant, starting to put in plants, and starting to talk about the vegetable garden and what was going to go in. We did a blessing at spring equinox. Now, today is a gorgeous day. We were expecting this kind of a day at the equinox so that we could do a blessing out in the garden. As it turned out, that was a rainy weekend. Now, we love the rain. We're glad to see the rain, but not when we want to be outside. So we did a blessing in the main hall, in Throop Hall, and we had little cups of soil and seeds, and we had stones to bless, and we had fun with it. I think it was Catherine's first Sundays with us as to the beginning stages. And now that this gorgeous garden, which I'm so proud of, I'm so proud of all the people who have worked on it. I'm so proud of y'all, and proud of what has come. It's time to bless it again. So I'd like you to join me. I will indicate when I want you to respond with the words, "We bless this garden." Let's try that one time.
We bless this garden.
Very good. Okay. We gather together to ask the Spirit of life to bless this garden and to give thanks for our own blessings. We dedicate this garden to the greater community, to the Spirit of life, and to each other.
We bless this garden.
As the rising sun shines upon us, actually it has risen higher than I thought it might be. As the sun shines upon us and upon this garden, giving us warmth and light, help us to share our light with others.
We bless this garden.
Bless the water that nourishes the garden, helping the roots of plants tap into the life-giving source. Help us to always be rooted in love and in the water of creation.
We bless this garden.
Bless the soil that supports new life in this ground and in this community. Help us to look in awe at the mysteries not yet seen, and to appreciate the wealth of the earth and to use it wisely.
We bless this garden.
Bless the seeds planted here. Help them to sprout and grow. May all new life within this garden be given the right conditions to grow and bear fruit.
We bless this garden.
And as the spirit of life and love rises in the center of this community, may we all be blessed with peace as we bless this garden. So may it be. Amen. Namaste.
Thank you. Reverend Carol. Our final speaker and celebrant today is Mr. Michael Kelly. He's a member of the Throop Board. He's really seen this project through from the very beginning until today. He's an active member as well with Northeast LA Transitions.
Good morning. Good morning. I get nervous speaking, so I brought a prop. No, we're not going to use up all your time this morning studying it, but mostly I'll just kind of lean on it. I found my spiritual home at this church about three and a half years ago. And when I arrived, one of the first things that I saw was this huge, brown, scraggly lawn. I also thought I saw a video drone in the sky that said City of Pasadena on it, taking pictures, and we were kind of wondering like when we were going to be hearing from the city and our neighbors about the situation here. But you know what? It was a beautiful landscape. It was a beautiful landscape then. It was beautiful because some of the church members who were about to become my close friends were out here in front, weeding and hand watering and edging, planting some vegetables and flowers, and generally trying to get a handle on this challenging site. They knew something that I didn't know yet. They knew that this had for decades been a vital, active community institution, and that in the future it was going to need to look to passersby like a vital, active community institution from the outside. So due to no one person in particular, an idea took hold here and it grew. So what was this idea? There are a lot of ways to talk about it. I brought a prop. This is a modern visualization by a landscape historian named Chip Sullivan of the monastery at St. Gall in Switzerland. 1,200 years ago, an abbot named Gosberg directed that a plan should be drawn up for a monastery that was to be a template for monasteries that might be built all over Europe. And for hundreds of years afterward, this was in fact used as a template all over the continent. What you see here is a huge urban church surrounded right up to its walls, not by a meadow, but by industries, all the industries of a self-sustaining medieval community. There were orchards, market gardens, bakeries, blacksmiths, carpenter shops, you name it. Well, before anybody else says it, I'll just say it. Our church is a little smaller than that. You know, we're in a secular society, and the church is no longer the only center of urban life. But every church has the potential to be a center that gathers around its walls the creativity and the industry of people who want to work on the land. It's not important that everybody celebrate within the walls of the church, although many of our gardeners do and well. What is important is that any passerby feel welcome to join in and get some exercise and see some gardening techniques that they maybe didn't know about and maybe take home some food too. This is what the church wanted. How were we going to do it? We were short on money, we were short on volunteers, we were short on ideas. And as we were trying to figure out what to do about this, we met the activists from Northeast Los Angeles Transition. We found out that in most respects, their vision agreed fully with ours. And look what they did.
All right.
January's already described to you this morning some of the features that are here. I won't go into that. I do want to conclude by mentioning, though, that we're not done. During the next few months, we're going to proceed to convert lawn to garden on another 300 square feet over in the driveway area. And over the next few years, we will plan on doing the same with another 1,500 square feet at the west end of the chapel. Guess what? There's another Pasadena rebate. We hope that we're going to qualify for a rebate from the Pasadena Water and Power Department for a water-conserving, weather-sensitive irrigation control timer. How great is that? Yeah. The city does this for us. That we're going to install soon. Now, beyond that, okay, I want to mention a number. 180,000 gallons. In an average year, the roof of this building picks up 180,000 gallons of water with pollutants, which then runs into the storm drain and out to sea, instead of being cleaned in the ground and then replenishing Pasadena's groundwater. Our parking lot picks up another 97,000 gallons. In the 21st century, a good neighbor captures its stormwater as much as possible on its own site, cleans it there, uses it there, instead of making it a problem for others. And we want to be a good neighbor in the distant future by doing that here. We're going to look for grants and expert advice on how to build stormwater management features at this church that will take care of some of that water. So to conclude, there are all sorts of landscape designs. There's native, drought-tolerant, permaculture, ornamental, quaint, pastoral. You could go on and on. What's the best landscape for a church? To me, it's simply one in which people are on it, outside, working together, experiencing joy in that work, and inviting others to join them. Thanks so much.
And let's give another big round of applause for all of these prophetic voices that we heard this morning. And we blessed, and we continue to vision. May our hands be forever dirty with the stuff of life. May we take those dirty hands and reach across borders, building important relationships, building community. As we do that, let us continue to create the world we all dream about. Thank you so much for being here. May we continue to dedicate and bless this garden with our own hands, sowing seeds and watering, even just driving by and giving a great big amen. We are glad that is there. And we are so glad that you're here. I ask that you join us now for a lovely reception in Throop Hall, where we do indeed have, I hear, over 100 vegan scones, vegan, non-dairy maple spread, homemade jam, coffee and tea, and some other treats await you. So please go forth, enjoy, and thank you again for being here. And if you are a member or a friend of this congregation, stay down here. We're going to do a group photo. Thank you so much again for being here today.